now call the meeting to order at 5:15 for the regular session, Monday, July 19th. Would you please rise and join us in the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, thank you. Thank you for attending. Mr. Zerlo, would you please conduct the roll?
Certainly. Mr. Castine.
Present.
Mr. Bizio.
Here.
Mr. Hall.
Here.
Mr. Henry.
Here.
Mr. Hughes.
Here.
Mr. Kretzer. Here. Mr. Perrier.
Here.
Legislators Potiker and Timmons are excused this evening, and Ms. Waldron.
Here.
Go to forms.
Thank you very much. All legislators have received a copy of the June 28th regular session minutes. If there are no additions, deletions, corrections, I would make a motion to approve the minutes. Motion by legislator Hall, second by legislator Perrier. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, now for one of the things we like to do. I'm going to call Scott Ewing to the newly appointed president of the New York State Association of Fire Chiefs to the podium to receive his award. And I will meet you right at the podium, Scott. So fine here. Right up here, sir. This is something I really like to do. We all like to do it. We know that. And this is doubly rewarding for me because I've known Scott for 25 years, all of that. Scott has been in public service his whole adult life. He started out, when I first met him, he was a customs inspector up at the Port of Entry. He then transferred over to part of Homeland Security, Federal Protective Service, and recently retired from that. But he has spent his whole career in public service in this county, in the volunteer fire department, as an EMT on almost, I think, every level of District 3 Fire Department, fireman, firefighter, EMT, captain, president, and fire chief. And now you are currently the deputy fire chief at District 3. Is that right?
And I'm also the deputy fire coordinator.
Oh, that's, yes, thank you. And he's a deputy coordinator for our county. Recently, he was elected to the president of the New York State Associations of Fire Chiefs for all of New York State. A great honor. It's great for us that we have in this county the president of the Fire Chiefs Association. In addition to that, we have Mr. Zerlo, who's the president of the New York State Association of Counties. So we have two high-ranking officials here from this county, our local county. And Scott, based on all of the
Let's hope Scott does better than I did.
Well, we like that. I'd like to, the legislature, on behalf of the legislature, I would like to present you. Congratulations to Scott Ewing on being named president of the New York State Association of Fire Chiefs. Whereas Clinton County is only as strong as the individuals who serve it and who give exemplary service. And whereas students attended to such concerns and in full accord with long-standing tradition, the Clinton County Legislature is justly proud to honor our Scott Ewing for his recent appointment on Tuesday, June 17th, as president of the New York State Associations of Fire Chiefs. And whereas our Scott Ewing has been a member of the District 3 Fire Department since 1985 and previously held that position of deputy secretary, vice president, president, and assistant chief during his 38 years of service. He served as chief of the District 3 Fire Department from 2015 to 2020, and he is currently serving as deputy fire chief. And whereas he has served as deputy fire coordinator for Clinton County since 1994 and is assigned to the fire investigative unit as fire investigator, Mr. Ewing is certified in hazardous materials technician, serves on the Clinton County Hazardous Materials team. In 2002, he was appointed to the Clinton County Training Tower Committee and assisted in the development plans, funding, and construction for this new facility, which is utilized by departments throughout Clinton County and Canada. And whereas Mr. Ewing was also appointed to the Clinton County Fire Advisory Board in 2016 and is still serving as an active member, he is a member and past president of the Clinton County Firefighters Association, where he served as fire prevention chairman for several years. And whereas Mr. Ewing also is a certified emergency medical technician and has been a member of the Morrisonville Scholar Falls Ambulance Service since 1995. He served as the Emergency Medical Services Chief for 5 years and was president of the board of directors for 12 years. And whereas Mr. Ewing is also a New York State fire instructor, he joined New York State Fire Instructors Committee in 1986 and is a life member. Prior to being elected to the board of directors in 2014, Mr. Ewing was appointed to the Public Education Committee in 1996 and was named chairman in 2002. And whereas Mr. Scott Ewing has been named the 113th president of the New York State Association of Fire Chiefs, only the second president to have served for Clinton County. Now therefore, be it resolved, the Clinton County Legislature pauses in its deliberations to publicly honor R. Scott Ewing for being named to this prestigious position and acknowledge his efforts to make not just this county, but all counties in New York State a better place for their residents. And be it further resolved, a copy of this resolution, suitably embossed, be transmitted to Mr. Ewing, which I am about to do. Congratulations, sir. We really appreciate it all. Thank you, don't move. Senator Steck also has something for you, and he'd like to present that.
Congratulations, thank you. Thanks for letting me interrupt and be part of this. It was a privilege. I was going to be in Plattsburgh today and talking about, attending the board meeting tonight, say hello to our colleagues and talk a little bit about the storm damage. And I know that Mike and Carl Weiss and all of you have been up to your eyeballs in it, as have all of our first responders. And certainly going to do whatever we can at the state level to help Clinton County. But what a perfect opportunity to say thank you for your life of service. I mean, it took Mark forever to read everything that you've done there. I was like, what font is that? 3 or 4 font? But like a lot of your colleagues, right, and I know that you would agree, there's a lot of our first responders that they're involved in multiple organizations, leadership in multiple organizations. Now you get to bring what you've perfected here in Clinton County and your experience to the state level, opportunity to lead as Mike Zerlo gets to lead in the Association of Counties, so certainly making Clinton County proud, but the knowledge and the experience that you have is going to certainly benefit the state now as well. So I just offer my thanks and my congratulations to you. It's a privilege or credit to every first responder here in Clinton County that you were selected here, and but most importantly to just say thank you, because again, as the chairman read off all the stuff that you've done, and continue to do, that's a lot of time. That's a lot of giving of yourself for your fellow neighbors and residents of the county. So I know that this room appreciates that, and the average Joe might not know every firefighter in the county, but they all know a firefighter, and they all know that, hey, these are people that when it hits the fan, it's storm damage or or ice storm or whatever, that you're going to be there for them. And so it's an opportunity to just say thank you. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to thank my chief and the assistant chief from my district, Greg Burnell, and assistant chief Josh Burnell. It's a team effort all the way across the board throughout the state. Without everybody working together, we couldn't accomplish, and that goes for the assembly and the state and all the county legislators. So thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time and honoring myself and also the other first responders in the county. Thank you, folks. Have a good evening.
Thanks a lot.
Real quickly, before we get any further down the road, I know the senator would like to speak to us. We'll take a few minutes, turn this over to the senator, and then we will get to our regular business.
Again, I'm not here at all your board meetings, but I was going to be in town and I realized, hey, that you've got a county ledge meeting tonight, and so I thought I'd come in, especially since I was just here last week with Mike and the chairman and touring. Standish Road's the one that jumps off the page at me is the most memorable, but we did a couple-hour tour. I mean, we hit a lot of highlights in Allenburg Center and Saranac and Dannemora, and so I know that Patty's district seemed to catch most of it. You know, call around to the other counties, Franklin County some, but not as bad as Clinton. Hamilton County, which I don't represent, got hammered pretty good, stretched from Indian Lake to Long Lake, and Long Lake back into Essex County, my district, to Newcomb. That road's gonna be out for a month. So, and then you get down to Hudson Valley, and you know, you're seeing it in the news. And of course Vermont, you know, there's just a state of gullies, and so every time it rains like that, it just hits that bedrock, you know, and it goes straight down and it takes away all the foliage with it. But I know that Billy also toured, you know, so your state legislative team is involved, engaged. I reached out to Commissioner Bray, and I know that you know, as far as trying to position the county to be able to receive whatever help you can, hopefully going back to the storms of July 2nd. Commissioner Bray seemed to think that the way she was approaching it was the best way to approach it. She certainly seemed to want to be able to help the county, but she heard the message that, you know, your team delivered to her loud and clear. And then I think she has the added benefit of knowing that Billy and I are also kind of keeping an eye on this. But she'll do what she can with the federal government. If something happens there and it gets stuck at the federal government, then you know certainly we will make those calls to Elise. And you know, I mean, that's, so we're in the know, we're in the loop. And you know, other than that, I thought I would just come up here. I didn't necessarily want to come give an end of session summary. You guys, you know, follow it more closely than I think most. And you know, I just did an interview a bit ago where they're projecting out, you know, the next 3-4 years, cumulative $36
We
million.
have no money, more money for the state to steal from us.
Yes, well, so I voted against the EF map fiasco. And I got to tell you, you know, so the budget process, you know, this was in the governor's first pass, as were some other things. Her housing initiative was another big one. And she wanted to do bail reform because one, it's necessary, two, it is good politics. And then, you know, not surprisingly, the legislature, when we did our versions of the budget, you know, we said we don't like the housing proposal. I'm not surprised that the majority says we're really not crazy about going into bail reform like we want to go. But like both the Senate and the Assembly, one house has rejected flatly the EF map intercept. And that was it. You never heard any more about it. Then the budget was a month late. You heard all about housing. You heard all about bail reform, but you never heard about EF map again until the, you know, May 1st or whatever the date was that we finally got around to getting the budget, where there it was. And it was, I can't even remember, you know, the dollar amounts anymore. It was $1 million-ish a year to every county for starters.
Statewide, year one over 600 million.
Yeah. I mean, that
Loaning to $1 billion, and Clinton County alone, 1.4, and growing.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, and remember, I mean, most of you probably remember this, but my own personal bio, I was Mark, you know, in Warren County for 2 years before I went to the legislature. I was a board of supervisors, so I was a town supervisor, and then I was on the county board, but I was the chairman for, I came in before the tax cap as a supervisor, and then I went to Albany after the tax cap. So I mean, I was there for, you know, and the unfunded mandates were the drumbeat then. You don't hear that phrase as much today anymore. It's like people got tired of talking about it. But, you know, the idea that the state is going to come in and just take money away from the counties to make our numbers work, and they don't work. We just found out from the comptroller, it's a $36 billion gap that's out there. You know, it just, that bothered me. You know, I'd love to tell this room that is the main reason why I voted against the budget. It was certainly a significant reason to oppose that part of the budget, because it's another attack on what I think is a more efficient, more trustworthy, more accountable level of government, local government, counties, than the state. I think the closer you are to the public, to the people, the more efficiently run you are. You know, so I'm a fan of local government, and specifically county government. And specifically you guys, I mean, you 5-5 board work well together. You know, there's no drama for 5-5 board. I mean, if it was 5-5, if it was 31-31 in Albany, in the Senate, it would be a wild place. But you work well together. You know, your heads on, you know, and hearts are in the right place, and I see that from where I am. But the $36 million, it should concern all of us. You know, this isn't a bit, when I was first in the Assembly, you know, there were some projections, well, the next year, the gap is a $5 billion gap, and then it goes away, you know, which is, you know, it's still a lot of money, but, I mean, when you start talking about $36 billion, we're gonna have to make choices, you know, we're gonna have to make choices, or people will continue to leave. Nova Bus, you know, I talked with Gary, I talked with Christos, and, you know, they seem to think that, you know, they want to do everything they can. They love the workforce. They have no issues here. I think the community has made an investment in the workforce. You know, you got the Institute for Advanced Manufacturing at Clinton Community College. You've got you know, great programs at SUNY Plattsburgh. You've proven you've got all these spin-offs that are associated with Bombardier, Nova Bus, Alstrom. You know that they all made it clear. And if Gary Douglas is surprised, if he's caught off guard, then I know everyone was caught off guard. You know, but true to form, you know, Gary's rolling up his sleeves again, and I think you got a lot of people, a lot of assets in place to recover from this. I know that they would love to try to find another division of Volvo to come in. That's the preferred and obviously the easiest. You know, current owner just reshuffles their deck. But I know that their fallback is if that doesn't happen, they don't want to see that building and the workforce go idle. I think that they're feeling like, and if there's good news is that we weren't given 6 weeks notice, we were given a 1.5 year notice to prepare. And like I said, not prepare to take the hit, but prepare to say, okay, 18 months from now, what are we going to be making in that building instead of buses or in addition to? So, you know, I know that was really the big gut punch in the last couple months for Clinton County. You know, I just wanted to touch base so that you all know, you know, I got a great working relationship with Mark and Mike, but certainly any of you and all of you are always welcome to bend my ear if there's something. I mean, I believe in the chain of command too, so, you know, I don't want to, you know, get it in front of Mark or Mike, but, you know, I mean, I'm not going to hang up the phone and say, no, you know, I only want to talk to Mike or Mark. So, you know, I want to know what's going on. If I can help, I certainly am always glad to. You got a wonderful community. It's a privilege to serve you, and it was really nice. Thanks for letting me know about Scott Ewing today. That was nice to do that. You know, as town supervisor, I had 5 fire companies, 3 rescue squads. You know, those guys and gals do wonders for our communities, and it's no different in Glens Falls than it is in Plattsburgh. You know, they're the bedrock of our community. When it hits the fan, they're there. God bless them. And it seems like they're always the busiest people you know, too. I mean, like him, he was involved in a dozen things. So it was nice to be part of that. Any questions? I'm happy to chit chat, but I know you guys got a board meeting to conduct, and I got to drive down.
Well, thank you for coming up. Thank you for coming up a couple of times for the flood to find out what's going on. You were on the phone a lot with me. Deb was on the phone a lot with me, trying to figure out where we are, what you could do. And as you said, Billy was there as well, and we certainly appreciate that as a legislature and as a county, that we've got our representatives are down there.
I like to think your 2 representatives generally have our heads screwed on correctly, but that's a matter of opinion and behavior.
Well, thank you for taking the time to get here. I know Scott appreciated it.
Yeah, no, that was nice. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So it is.
I will now recognize those in the audience who wish to share their thoughts and concerns with the legislature. Please raise your hand. And if you wish to be recognized, state your name and address for the records. And in accordance with the rules of order, all speakers will be limited to 5 minutes. You can go up there if you would. You can do it from your chair if you'd like, ma'am. Would you like to go to the podium?
Hey.
Yeah.
Marlene Conway Beal, 90-year resident of Village of Rouse's Point in Clinton County. I'd like to get help for seniors, elderly seniors, and to meet the criteria to take the property taxes that we are paying now take us right off the books, period. Because your Social Security, last year alone, I was getting $1,600 a month. My property taxes are $6,300. 4 months of my Social Security. I've got, I bare bones my house. Television's on the air. My husband worked for the telephone company, and the union gives us free phone and internet, which I don't use. And what's the other thing? Anyhow, we pay 3 taxes, county. You guys take care of that. And Mr. Henry was telling me that I should go to the school boards and get the school taxes rammed down. And the village, I've been at the village for different things, for anyhow. But I'd like to see, I've already written to the governor, but I know she never saw the letter. I got back one of those little bitty form letters. You know she never saw it, because he went around it. They didn't mention what I had written about, so you know she never saw it. And Billy Jones and I assume he's the secretary, a young fellow called me on the phone, and he asked me about being aware of all the senior things that they offer us on the properties. And I said, yes, I'm aware of that, and I have taken advantage of all of them. So, but I said, something has to be done. I said, they should take us right off and then when we disappear from here, then they put it back on. Because I said, there aren't that many that would qualify probably. But I think that the 3 things you need is to be a widow or widower, be of age, advanced age, I should say, and you guys decide what the advanced age it should be, and you'd also decide what would be a poverty income if you qualify for that, to get rid of the taxes. It's a burden. And somebody said, well, sell your house. You know, my daughter wants my house, and I will it to her. And I said, even if you sell your house, you gotta live somewhere. You pay rent somewhere and spend all that money paying rent, and then you gotta go on the dole full time, big time. It'd save you a lot of money just to take me off the roll till I die. I said, sure wish I knew when. But thank you for listening.
Well,
And thank you for your advice.
Thank you much. We were very happy to do that. Thank you for coming down here. We appreciate it. Is there
Oh, you
anyone
put me on camera.
Now people will watch,
Yeah, there you go.
because you're on. They don't watch when we're on.
Yeah. I was here when you got your award. I don't know if you noticed.
I did.
Your mom and dad were here.
Yeah, thank you.
I took a picture of your mother to see if she could identify the people, and then she could. The rest are all dead.
Take
Don't
care.
grow old.
Committee reports.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you.
Reports.
The,
Call the chairperson of each committee in alphabetical order by committee, starting with
Didn't David pass away?
Grounds, legislator preside.
David
Thank you,
Woodruff?
Mr. Chairman. The Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting scheduled for Monday, July 10th,
Mike,
canceled.
nephew Jake.
Joint meeting between the Buildings and Grounds and the Plattsburgh International Airport Committee was held on Wednesday, June 28th. A resolution titled Authorizing Contract Amendment with Wendell Energy Services, LLC, for energy performance has been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendation. The next Building and Grounds Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, August 14th at 4 p.m. End of report.
Thank you very much, sir. Children and Family Services, Mr. Grillo, do you have that? Was it? Grillo, yes, I do, sir.
The Children and Family Services Committee met on behalf of Legislator Barker. July 11th, Commissioner Christine Peters was present to discuss resolutions authorizing contract amendment with ETC Housing Corporation and authorizing the use of unclaimed funds. Commissioner Peters also provided an update on potential migrant issue in the county, Plattsburgh Cares, the city motel issue, one work source, and a warming center. Resolutions 490 and 491 have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendation. And the next Children and Family Services Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, August 1st at 5:15 p.m. And a proposal.
Thank you, sir. Economic Development, County Operations, Legislator Walden.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the Economic Development and County Operations Committee meeting scheduled for Wednesday, July 12th was canceled. The committee was pulled on resolutions 492 and 494 on the agenda. The next Economic Development and County Operations Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, August 16th at 3 o'clock. End of report.
Thank you, ma'am. Finance Committee?
Yes, sir. On behalf of Legislator Timmons, the Finance Committee met Tuesday, July 18th. Rebecca Murphy, the Deputy County Treasurer, was present to discuss a resolution titled Voiding Purchase, Forfeiture of Deposit in the Town of Beekmantown. Ms. Murphy also discussed 2023 sales tax charts. The committee also discussed resolutions authorizing contract amendment with Barton LaJudas DPC for professional services associated with the Clinton County landfill site characterization investigation work plan, and authorizing cost-sharing agreement with New England Waste Services of New York. Resolutions 495 through 498 have been placed on the agenda upon the recommendation of the committee, and Resolution 534 has also been placed on the agenda under Waiver Rule 13.2 this evening. The next Finance Committee is scheduled for Wednesday, August 2nd at 5:15 p.m.
Thank you, sir. Health Committee and Legislator Hughes?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Health Committee meeting scheduled for July 17th was canceled. I met separately with Rochelle Gregory and Jeff Sessions, and we discussed some of the issues they had in their departments on my own. Resolutions 499 and 500 were pulled and have been placed on the agenda for tonight. And the next Health Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, August 2nd at 4 p.m. and report.
Thank you very much. And Human Services, Legislator Brea.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Human Services Committee meeting scheduled for Tuesday, July 11th was canceled. The next Human Services Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, August 1st at 4:15. End of report.
Very well, thank you. Personnel Committee, the Personnel Committee met on Tuesday, July 18th. Kim Kimmelman, the Personnel Director, made a presentation on Clinton County's 2023-2024 recruitment and retention strategies, which will be discussed further at a future personnel meeting. Ms. Kimmelman also discussed memorandum of agreements with 3 collective bargaining units regarding the enhanced health insurance buyout. And resolutions 535 through 554 have been placed on tonight's agenda under Waiver Rule 13.2. The next Personnel Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, August 15th at 5 p.m. Plattsburgh International Airport, Legislator Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Plattsburgh International Airport Committee met earlier this evening. Chris Craig, the airport director, was present to discuss the resolutions authorizing a lease agreement with DR Holdings Incorporated, DBA Pro Driver Training, and authorizing supplement agreement to the master service agreement with CNS Engineer Incorporated and a periodic professional services. Resolution 501 through 510 have been placed on the agenda upon the recommendation of the committee. The next Plattsburgh International Airport Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, August 19th at 4 p.m. And for anybody that doesn't realize it, this is the bus garage up there in front of the airport, and they have signed a 5-year lease.
Multimodal transportation
Yes.
facility.
Yes, they will be in there for 5 years with a 5-year option. And a little added something, Mr. Chairman, I would like to be there when that lady goes to the Board of Education and tells them that Mark Henry sent me there to tell me how they and the report.
Well, Mr. Hall, if you allow me to report, these slight piece of good news. We were informed today that, by Congresswoman Stefanik, that the designation of Plattsburgh International as a port of entry as opposed to a user fee airport is included in the FAA reauthorization bill, which we believe is going to pass the House tomorrow. So that is very positive. That is not the whole story. It's 2 houses of the legislature and the executive, but a necessary step, very positive news. Should that come to fruition, that would save the airport budget about $500,000.
That'd be good.
Let's hope it moves on strongly. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'll deny that I said that.
She had witnessed.
Moving right along, public safety and legislator Cassidy.
Remember the tapes, Mr. Nixon? Public Safety Committee meeting scheduled for Monday, July 17th was canceled. Resolutions 511 through 515 have been pulled and placed on the agenda upon the committee's recommendation. The next Public Safety Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, August 15th at 4 p.m. Tentative report.
Thank you, sir. Transportation, legislator Kretzer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Transportation Committee meeting scheduled for Monday, July 10th was canceled. On Monday, July 10th and Tuesday, July 11th, the committee toured the impacted flood zones in Clinton County with Highway Superintendent Carl Weiss, Senator Dan Steck, and Assemblyman Billy Jones. Resolutions 516 through 520 have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendation. Resolution number 518 has been withdrawn. The next Transportation Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, August 14th at 5:15 p.m.
Liaison reports. Clinton Community College, Legislator Shaw.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. At the August 2nd Finance Committee meeting, Clinton Community College's president, Dr. John Kowal, will be here along with some members of the Board of Trustees to go over the budget for the 2023-24 school year with their budget request. And just a heads up, their budget request is the same as last year. They did not raise it.
You're stealing their thunder, legislator president.
What's that?
Said you're stealing their thunder.
Well, I want people, folks to think about it, that's all.
Anything further, sir?
And a report.
I do, in seriousness, I do meet with the president tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow, right? Yes.
I will rest assured that it's not the community college president's favorite meeting of the year, but I know the feeling of some of the members here, and I expressed that very clearly in my meeting with the president.
Just a couple of things. Steve Fredericks has been hired back by the college, I believe, to run the AIM operation, which is a big deal for the college to start bringing in funds to do training. And they are starting to fill some positions that were empty by that, so it looks like they're headed in the right direction.
Is that on the foundation? It's on the foundation.
I don't think it's the foundation.
Well, I think he might
All of
be-
the above.
I think he's wearing a couple of hats,
Yeah.
I think. I'm not sure, but I think Josh is right.
So he's active now, Steve?
Yeah, he was hired at the last meeting I went to. Hired.
Yeah. Community Services Board, Legislator Cassidy.
No report, sir.
Discipline, nothing for discipline grievance, nothing. Intercounty, Legislator Walden.
I'll be meeting in Fulton County next week to see the Field of Dreams, unless Wendell wants to steal that one from me.
Good day you guys work that out.
That's nice. LCLG Regional Planning Board, Legislator Hughes and or Kretzer.
We did meet, I think about a week ago, and the director, senior planner, economic development coordinator all made their reports. There was continued talk about their Main Street revitalization program, also reports on some new loans that they're giving, some unfortunately defaulted loans, and all is kind of moving forward.
Very good, thank you. Soil and Water, Legislator Perrier.
No report.
Thank you. Workforce Development Board.
No report.
Staff members. Ms. Gelder.
I would like to request an executive session to discuss pending litigation, contractual negotiations, and to provide advice of counsel.
Very good, thank you. And Mr. Joe.
Great. I just have a couple of things. The first, we don't have to make a decision tonight, but please look at your calendars. The September, first meeting in September is scheduled for September 13th. That is also that is in conflict with the Association of Counties Conference in Rome, New York, for those listening on TV. So we need to move that meeting. There's not a ton of options, so So options are potentially cancel that evening or move it to the week of the 17th sometime. Now, if we do that, the meeting on the 27th probably will be a very quick one, but these are your choices at this point. But we will not have a quorum on the 13th of September. And it's no good to move it the week ahead because you're not going to capture the resolutions of the committee meetings. So
Yeah, so we'll think
please
about it.
think about that, and we'll send an email out to remind you. Secondly, just to piggyback on what's been said tonight, Mr. Day, Mr. Weiss, and Ms. Thayer toured the county with state emergency management officials and federal emergency management agency officials. So they were on site doing the necessary site visits. So that process is moving forward. Without getting into the details, we remain hopeful that all our impacted areas will qualify. No guarantees, but that's what we're pushing. And lastly, and I can't believe we talked about it twice tonight, but I do have a meeting tomorrow with Mr. Burrio and the budget director, Mr. Megnan, on a couple of things. We want to try to lengthen the phase out of the EFMAP. At one point, it was supposed to be a 3-year phase in, phase out, depending on the perspective. And the letters came to the commissioners of social services, and it looks as though they're doing that quicker than originally anticipated. So we're going to discuss that, and we're also going to take one last shot at the reconciliation. Not the going forward money, but the old money that we believe we are owed. So I'll report after that meeting to the board.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Resolutions. Before voting on the resolutions, I'd like to note the majority of the resolutions have been thoroughly discussed by the appropriate committees, and the legislature is taking action tonight based on the recommendations of those committees. Mr. Joe, would you please read the consent resolutions to be acted upon?
Certainly. Resolution 490, authorizing contract amendment with ETC Housing Corporation, Social Services.
Motion, legislator Kretzer, second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 491, authorizing use of unclaimed funds, Social Services.
Motion, legislator Perrier, second, legislator Paul. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Resolution 492, authorizing Smart Growth Program Countywide Resiliency Grant Application, Planning Department.
Motion, legislator Waldron, second, legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Under discussion, this is, and this is not a bad thing, but your planning director that you hired recently is really quite active in seeking out these opportunities. So she's doing very well, and this is just now we've not received this grant yet, but she's taking advantage of opportunities.
We appreciate
Very good. Thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
that. Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 493, authorizing Brownfield Opportunity Area Program Grant Application Planning.
Motion, legislator Waldron, second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion. Roll call.
Same comment. Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 494, authorizing the county treasurer to increase appropriation and corresponding revenue to the 2022-2023 Snowmobile Trail Grant. Legislature.
Motion, legislator Waldron, second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 495, avoiding purchase forfeiture of deposit in the town of Beacontown. Treasurer's office.
Motion, legislator Bezai, second, legislator Henry. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 496, authorizing contract amendment with Barton and Judas DPC for professional services associated with the Quincy County landfill site characterization, investigation, work plan. Legislature.
Motion, legislator Timmons. No, strike that. Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier? Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 497, authorizing cost-sharing agreement with New England Waste Services of New York Incorporated.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Walden. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 498, authorizing contract amendment with Constellation New Energy Incorporated, Legislature.
Motion, legislator Perrier. Second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier? Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 499, authorizing contract amendment with Champlain Valley Family Center, Mental Health and Addiction.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Second, legislator Presida. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier? Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 500, authorizing emergency preparedness grant application and acceptance, Health Department.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier? Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 501, amending Resolution 394 dated May 24, 2023, titled Authorizing Lease Agreement with Athna Engineering Services LLC, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier? Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 502, authorizing lease agreement with BR Holdings Incorporated, DBA Pro Driver Training, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier? Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 503, authorizing out-of-state travel, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier? Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Resolution 504, authorizing supplemental agreement to the master services agreement with CNS Engineers Incorporated for periodic professional services, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Waldron. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier? Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 505, authorizing contract with CNS Engineers Incorporated for supplemental vapor intrusion assessment of Building 2774, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Waldron. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier? Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 506, authorizing contract extension with CNS Engineers Incorporated for on-site multi-sector general permit training and annual site compliance evaluation, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier? Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 507, authorizing contract extension with CNS Engineers Incorporated for updating the stormwater pollution prevention plan, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier? Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 508, authorizing the rehabilitation of taxiway A pavement and general aviation apron Phase 2 construction project grant reapplication, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Timmons. Discussion.
Yes, Chairman. Oh, no, can't be Timmons.
No.
Your second was Mr.
Oh, I said Timmons again. I'm sorry. He's not here. I'm just used to doing that. Thank you for catching that. Motion, legislator Hall. Second, you're on. Here for legislator Walden.
So this is a piece of good news. As you know, on these federal projects, there is a local share attached to them. During COVID, that local share was 0. Luckily, we did our biggest project ever during that time. But it fluctuates between 95% and 90%, thereby making the local share either 5% or 2.5%. When we originally applied for this grant, we were at a 5% cost. Our CNS engineers actually did a revaluation of our community, and it was determined that we are now at a 2.5% local share. So the federal government's picking up 95, state and local split 2.5. So this reapplication is gonna save the county $171,000. Very good news.
Thank you, sir.
Roll call, say roll call.
Yeah, we're on
That was
508, right?
508, sir.
Okay. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yeah.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Great, thank you, Michael.
Resolution 509, authorizing the rehabilitation of the apron taxi lane and general aviation apron Phase 1 design project grant reapplication, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion.
Exact same issue, a smaller number because this is design work and not control.
Roll call.
Mr. Perrier? Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 510, authorizing an agreement with CNS Engineers for limited construction phase services for building 2753 renovation project, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall, second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Resolution 511, authorizing contracts with various school districts, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier? Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 512, authorizing contract with Lee Kitchen Carpet and Appliance Center, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier? Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 513, authorizing contract with Clinton Community College, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier? Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Resolution 514, authorizing purchasing agent to solicit bids for inmate clothing, janitorial, and personal care items, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 515, authorizing contract with New York State Office of Children and Family Services, District Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier? Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 516, authorizing 2023-2024 round accelerated transit capital grant application and acceptance, Clinton County Public Transit.
Motion, legislator Kretzer, second, legislator Rosado. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier? Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 517, authorizing grant application to the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, Highway Department.
Motion, legislator Kretzer, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier? Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 518 has been withdrawn. Resolution 519, authorizing the United States Department of Transportation Rural Surface Transportation Grant Program grant application, Highway Department.
Motion, legislator Kretzer, second, legislator Rosado. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 520, authorizing the purchasing agent to solicit bids for various materials and services as needed for the year 2024, Highway Department.
Motion, legislator Kretzer, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 521, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the NDAP Leads Grant Office for the Aging.
Motion, legislator Perrier, second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier? Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 522, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Health Insurance Information, Counseling, and Assistance Program Grant Office for the Aging.
Motion, legislator Waldron, second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier? Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 523, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Caregivers Resource Center Grant Office for the Aging.
Motion, legislator Hall, second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier? Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 524, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and and corresponding revenue for the Wellness and Nutrition Program Grant Office for the Aging.
Motion, Legislator Hughes. Second, Legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walsh?
Yes.
Resolution 525, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Rural Well Water Testing Grant, Health Department.
Motion, Legislator Hughes. Second, Legislator Desire. Discussion. Gotta make notes on these while I do it. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walsh?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 526, authorizing the county treasurer to increase appropriation and corresponding revenue for the rehabilitation of Main Street Bridge over the Osable River Project Highway.
Motion, Legislator Kretzer. Second, Legislator Bezzaio. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution 527, authorizing the county treasurer to adjust appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Consolidated Local Street and Highway Improvement Program, Highway.
Motion, Legislator Kretzer. Second, Legislator Bezzaio. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 528, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Summer Youth Employment Program, Social Services.
Motion, Legislator Perrier. Second, Legislator Bezzaio. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 529, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Safe Harbor Grant, Social Services.
Motion, Legislator Kretzer. Second, Legislator Waldron. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 530, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Home Energy Assistance Program, Social Services.
Motion, Legislator Waldron. Second, Legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 531, authorizing the county treasurer to increase appropriation and corresponding revenue for youth recreation, Youth Bureau.
Motion, Legislator Kretzer. Second, Legislator Bezzaio. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 532, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for 2023 Youth Services, Youth Bureau.
Motion, Legislator Perrier. Second, Legislator Waldron. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution 533, authorizing contract amendment with Wendell Energy System Services LLC for energy performance, Legislature.
Motion, Legislator Bezzaio. Second, Legislator Hall. Discussion.
Yes, just to remind everybody where we are, this was there was we were calling a tour of a couple of structures at the airport, and we looked at maybe bringing those both into the energy performance contract, the ongoing that we have with Wendell. What this resolution does is include one of those. It includes the boiler. It does not include the roof project that you guys previously approved, because Mr. Cleveland, working with a local vendor and that vendor's membership in a co-op, it was far cheaper to go directly with the co-op vendor than it was. The project's still gonna get done this fall. We just saved about $350,000 by going this route as opposed to putting in the energy performance contract.
It's like the boiler's actually two boilers.
It's the high efficiency boiler that has two,
Boilers.
whatever in your world that you guys talk about, yes. It's the more expensive one, how's that?
But it'll last.
More expensive one
Last
that lasts longer and yield greater savings, greater efficiencies.
And can get delivered
And can get
6
here,
months sooner,
and
right?
can get here
Many
before the
months,
heating
many
season.
months sooner.
Yeah. many months.
Before winter.
We'll actually have a boiler before winter.
So both of those projects
That seems
are
wrong.
taking place. This amendment only includes one because in a August or September meeting, you will see a resolution with Farrell Roofing to do the Exelon roof.
Anything further? Roll call.
Mrs. Perrier? Yeah. Mr. Timmons? Excuse me. She's not here. Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Sorry. Irishman.
We're all tired.
Okay, that brings us to,
Look like.
I need a motion to waive Rule 13.2. We have a passel here, passel of resolutions. A motion by legislator Brazil, second by legislator Hughes. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 534, accepting bids received at online auction and authorizing the issuance of deeds, Treasurer's Office.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Perrier. Discussion.
As we discussed, there were two properties. One was over the delinquency, one was under the delinquency. You need to approve the sale of the parcel that's under the delinquency. That's what's on this resolution.
Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walton?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 535, approving backfill of permanent full-time case manager for the elderly services position. Office for the aging.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 536, approving backfill of permanent full-time senior account clerk typist position, mental health and addiction.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 537, approving backfill of permanent full-time environmental services worker position, nursing home.
Motion, legislator Kretzer. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 538, approving backfill of permanent full-time network administrator position, information technology.
Motion, legislator Brazil. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 539, approving backfill of a permanent full-time motor equipment operator mechanic position, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 540, approving backfill of permanent full-time motor equipment operator mechanic position, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion.
Anybody knows any motor equipment operators that is looking for a job, Mr. Craig is very anxious.
Also, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 541, approving reclassification of permanent part-time station attendant position up to a permanent part-time transfer station operator position, solid waste.
Motion, legislator Kretzer. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 542, approving reclassification of permanent full-time motor equipment operator, mechanic position down to a permanent full-time motor equipment operator 2 position, solid waste.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 543, approving request to backfill a vacant permanent part-time senior account clerk position up to step 5 of the salary scale, Health Department.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion.
Just want to make sure everybody understands that title. This is not a new position, this is a previously approved position that was, but they've been unable to fill it since January. It was approved in the 2023 budget. So the only cost to this is the difference between the step 1 and the step 5, not a new position.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 544, approving backfill of permanent full-time public health nutritionist, Health Department.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 545, approving reclassification of a permanent full-time public health technician position up to a permanent full-time public health sanitarian position, Health Department.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 546, approving reclassification of a permanent part-time medical clerk typist position down to a permanent part-time typist position, Health Department.
Motion, Legislator Hall. Second, Legislator Kretzer. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 547, approving creation of a full-time clerk position, social services.
Motion, Legislator Kretzer. Second, Legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 548, approving backfill of permanent full-time assistant public defender position, public defender's office.
Motion, Legislator Castine. Second, Legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 549, approving backfill of permanent full-time senior account clerk typist, highway.
Motion, Legislator Kretzer. Second, Legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 550, approving step increase for a lateral transfer of a permanent full-time correction officer position, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, Legislator Castine. Second, Legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 551, authorizing the chairperson to execute a memorandum of agreement by and between the County of Clinton and the Civil Service Employees Association, Incorporated Local 1000, AFS CME, AFL-CIO, Clinton County Unit 6450 and 6466 of Local 884 Legislature.
Motion, Legislator Hall. Second, Legislator Henry. Discussion.
Kim, why don't you give us a brief discussion on the next?
So the next three resolutions are memorandums of agreement with all three unions that we have here in Clinton County. This is to offer a increased health insurance buyout to current employees, as was previously discussed in the Personnel Committee meeting and approved. So we will be doing a pre-open enrollment 2 weeks prior to this year's open enrollment. And if enough individuals come on the health insurance plan and we give the increased buyout, and the county shows at least a $300,000 savings based on that pre-open enrollment, this would put into place an increased buyout for current employees from $1,000 to $3,000 for an individual plan and $7,000 for a family plan, which would go into effect 2024.
So we can't lose, but we're hoping people see the value of this enhanced buyout.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 552, authorizing the chairperson to execute a memorandum of agreement by and between the County of Clinton and the Sheriff of Clinton County and CSEA Local 1000, ASME, AFL-CIO, Clinton County Unit 645001 of Local 884 Legislature.
Motion, Legislator Castine. Second, Legislator Henry. Discussion. Roll call.
Ms. Perrier? Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 553, authorizing the chairperson to execute a memorandum of agreement by and between the County of Clinton and the Sheriff of Clinton County and the Clinton County Deputy Sheriff's Police Benevolent Association Legislature.
Motion, Legislator Hall. Second, Legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Ms. Perrier? Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Deputy, you take our health insurance?
What's that?
You take our health insurance?
No.
Well, she's gonna get an automatic rate.
You deserve it.
You deserve it. That's what I meant to say.
You're saving us $22,000.
Resolution 554, approving backfill of permanent full-time senior building maintenance worker, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, Legislator Hall. Second, Legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Yeah, we're going, oh, no, I meant, that's it, our resolutions. Two. Does anybody have anything else come before the legislature? I'll ask for a motion to enter into executive session. Motion, Legislator Hall, second, Legislator Waldron. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are in executive session. Opposed? Carried. We are out of executive session.
Mr. Chairman,
And
we
we
have,
will now enter
we have
regular
one,
session.
we have one resolution to address. That would be resolution number 555, titled Authorizing Contract with Kaplan, Kirsch, and Rockwell, Plattsburgh International Airport.
Motion by legislator Hall, second by legislator Waldron. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
That will require a roll call, sir, I apologize.
Will or will not?
Will,
We just did.
no,
Roll
we did
call.
all in favor.
Oh,
Sorry.
All in favor?
it requires a roll call, you say, not a call.
So this goes to
Roll
Mr.
call.
Timmons.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, that's unfair to him, he doesn't have it in front of him, so. That's unfair.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walsh?
Yes.
Thank goodness. Carried. Anything further?
No.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by legislator Hall to adjourn, second by legislator Hughes. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much. I know